Welcome to Frankly, My Dear, the podcast that explores just how bananas things were in classic Hollywood. Classic Hollywood was wholesome, right? People talk about the films with such nostalgia and wish for those days back. But what I find more interesting is the seedy underbelly, the backstory, the movie trivia, the backdrop of those films and what went on behind the scenes. These were real people. They had their own stories. They soldiered on to create these films that you so love, and I appreciate even more now by knowing their lives and struggles. So join me as we uncover the mystery and peel back the velvet curtain of classic Hollywood to not just highlight the scandals, but the triumphs of these film giants. Hello, I have a guest today. Her name is Amy McNulty. Did I say that right? Oh, awesome. We're going to be talking about Calamity Jane. Amy is a fellow author, actually also from Wisconsin. So I made her revisit this film, but at least you saw it before, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I grew up and developed a love for classic film, but I actually hadn't seen this one until my husband introduced me to it, which was interesting because I didn't know he knew so much about classic film. So that was a point in his favor, really.
Yeah.
This one and Bandwagon were the other ones that I hadn't seen, actually.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, really? That's a good one. That's a Fred Astaire, Sid Charisse one. So lots of dancing. So anyway, so about Calamity Jane. So revisiting it after so long, what did you think kind of going back into it? Were there things that stood out that maybe you didn't remember? We have to keep in mind it's a product of the time and we're in the Wild West and there's some stuff going on there.
Yeah. Well, mostly what I remembered was the songs, or at least the tunes. I think I butcher the lyrics when I'm singing it to myself. Just because my mom loved classic movies. Those are her movies, like when she was a kid and slightly beforehand. So we always had them on when I was growing up. That's how I got exposed to so many of these things. And I will admit that I kind of fell off once I hit like college. I was less interested in watching all these movies over and over. But so Doris Day was one of her favorites, one of my favorites. And I was going to say that at one point she got her autograph here. It says,
"Oh, cool!
Best Doris Day." We bought it at an auction at my school. Somehow someone got it, but so she won the auction for that. But yeah, so of all those, Calamity Jane was my favorite. It's the one I most remembered, and I would say I just remembered like all the fun times, all the songs. I love the romance, the love. I was going to say triangle, but it's more like a love square, I think.
Yeah.
And then like rewatching it, I still love all those songs and stuff, but yeah, I definitely was like, oh, ow, ooh, and so like every time everything was like the product of its time, the westerns. And my mom loved westerns too, just not just like that. She loved John Wayne, and I can't stand
yeah.
And it's just so I'm used to those things, but so there was all those things, but still like the romance was my favorite part. Calamity Jane herself was my favorite part. I love that she was a tomboy. Like I really connected with that as a kid. But then it's the whole thing about she needs to get a makeover to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
And no one saw that before.
Right. The whole thing when she meets Katie and she mistakes her for a dude. And I'm like, really? Yeah. No, she does not.
Dirty.
Right. Right. But I'm like, really? If you look at her face, there's no way.
She's little when she's got the ponytail, I guess, of the bright blonde. Like she's... What do you know? Was she a natural blonde? Because that blonde was like, whew, bright blonde.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess probably not. I don't think any of them were. Really.
Yeah. Also, it was funny, but like, she's like, don't watch me change my clothes, you horrible person. Oh, you're a woman. You can watch me change my clothes. They don't even know you, but you can walk in.
Right. Because she was all like, I'll help you. And she's like, wait, what? Oh my gosh.
But I did love that. I love that about Katie too, that she was just a maid, and she wasn't the actual star that Calamity Jane was after, and that she kind of just like took it upon herself to try to pretend. And I'm at the same time I'm glad that didn't last very long, because that would have been like, that could have been the whole movie, her not revealing the truth till the end, but they found out pretty quickly and they still they're just she's like the hottest woman that ever appeared in town apparently.
Right. And well, I'm sure this was on purpose, but she was, since her part was bigger, it makes sense. She was a better actress than the other one too. We didn't see the other one for very long. The one that played Adelaide.
Yeah, she just had a song. I think she was known for being a singer, I think. Right?
That could be. I don't know as much about her, but the one that played Katie could sing and dance and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've actually seen her in anything else. I was trying to research her a little bit, but she was married to Adolph Green for a while, who was like a composer. He did On the Town and stuff like that. So that was kind of the only thing that I zeroed in on with her biography, because otherwise I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
Yeah, I don't think
But she was really fun to watch in this one.
Mhm.
So she should have done more.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just don't. I really liked the Francis Fryer guy too. I thought he
Yep.
was very entertaining.
Yeah, it's like, well, I guess they thought he was a woman because his name was Francis. So the bar owner or saloon owner booked him to do a show, and he traveled many, many days. So like, there's no backing out by then. He advertised that he had Francis. What would you say, Francis Flyer or something coming. And then he's a man, so he made him do a drag performance basically, and I don't know, like it's played for laughs, but at the same time, I don't know, they kind of straddled the line well, and everyone was happy and accepted him once he revealed he was really a man. So,
right, and they didn't even know till his wig came off. So,
yeah, like,
like he just owned it though. He was very entertaining.
Yeah. He was necessary because he knew on site that Katie was not who she said she was. But then, like I said, they resolved that plot point pretty quickly anyway. So then he just hung around.
Right. That was pretty funny. And then Katie and Francis did a number together too that was pretty fun, or part of a number, I think.
Yeah, she was doing the Adelaide song, something about like talking about her man, and so he would play the man in the performance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they were fun. So kind of the smaller parts, I suppose. And then this is my favorite performance of Doris Day. I mentioned this to you before, but like her 1960s stuff, I just wasn't a fan of the plots. She was really super abrasive in those, and I think the point was to be over the top, but I think it's a little bit harder to accept just how mean she was. Not that the Rock Hudson character was awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, she's the nagging woman that the men would complain about, like, nothing I do could satisfy her. She's always angry and like.
Well, I think I said, what was it? Not Pillow Talk, was it? Send Me No Flowers. So like the Rock Hudson character, I'm going on a tangent, but the Rock Hudson character actually believes he's dying. So then when she finds out from the doctor that he's not, she gets all mean and like super vindictive at him, and he still thinks he's dying. So he doesn't understand what's happening. And I'm like, wow, she went all crazy. It's just too much for me. Yeah. It was a lot more fun to see her play. Sorry, I was cutting out.
I was just gonna say, does she think that he knows he's not? Does that make sense? Does she think that he thinks he's not dying, that he's lying to her? Or does she even recognize that he thinks he is dying? You know what I mean?
I think that she thinks he's lying to her, so that's why she gets all mad. But he doesn't understand what's happening, because she's all nice to him about it, because they think he's dying, and then just she flips a switch and doesn't say anything and just gets all mean. And I'm just like, okay, why don't you, like, no, they don't ever talk to each other in movies.
Yes.
Just talk to each other. That whole miscommunication problem.
Yep.
Anyway, so I like her as Calamity Jane much better. That's my favorite character that I've watched of hers. Just because she is kind of that like rough and tumble, like just fun, sassy sort of woman, but I guess tomboyish. But I don't know. I think she's just a much stronger character, and she's just a lot more fun to watch. There was something about, she said they did some shots with her in the costume and her voice was too high because she was using her regular voice. So then she realized she had to lower it. So I think that was a good thing for her to be very self-aware about, is that to match the character a little bit better. I guess this movie was in response to Annie Get Your Gun, which I actually haven't seen, but Howard Keel is also in that, and Betty Hutton. I've only seen parts of the songs from that one, and she seems really irritating, so I've never watched that one. But it was originally supposed to be Judy Garland, actually, in Annie Get Your Gun, and she got fired. Because she was not in a good place. But I really like Howard Keel.
Oh yeah, he's one of the highlights of that movie. I was gonna say, you said you didn't like when she was like mean for no reason, but she did have a little bit of that as Jane, because Katie was trying so
Yeah.
hard to not let, because Jane had a crush on Lieutenant Dan, right? Was that what they
Yeah,
kept saying?
Danny.
Lieutenant
Yep.
Dan. And then he immediately fell for Katie, like he met her twice. He's like already glomping on over, like I'm gonna hold you and kiss you against your will. And Katie was actually kind of into it, but she felt bad for
Mm-hmm.
Jane. So she tried to say no. She tried to say no. They went to a dance. They even like lied to Jane and made it seem like the two men were fighting over Jane instead of Katie, but they had been fighting over Katie. And then she saw them. What did they kiss at the dance, or they were being intimate? And then she just
They were in
flipped.
the garden or
Yeah,
something. I think she might have seen them kissing because I think she makes a big
yeah,
deal about it
yeah, yeah.
afterwards.
And then she's so mean. She tried to like, cause she, I don't know if she tried to kill her, but kind of tried to. Because she's supposed to be so good with her gun, so she shoots really like to a glass she's holding.
So Katie shoots a gun
You talk
at
about
Calamity. Yeah, but it turns out it's Bill that shoots it.
Yep.
So to bring
Keeps
her
her that
down a
building.
peg or whatever.
Yep.
And then
And
they're
then,
like,
yeah,
cool, we love each other.
that's what I mean. This is like, and then so she sings. My favorite song was "Secret Love," which I heard was actually
Yeah.
like went on to be like an anthem for LGBT people a lot, and it was
Yep.
like really beautiful. But it's like, but you weren't interested in him this whole time. You like the song is about how I was secretly in love with you the whole time, and now I can tell everyone. No, that was not the case in the movie at all. You were to Lieutenant Dan from the beginning.
Right. Maybe they just didn't realize they loved each other. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
Because
that's
they were
what
like best friends and
yeah.
friend zoned each other, maybe,
Yep.
and then eventually got there. I don't know.
Although I saw in the
But Bill,
DVD
too, he was
extras,
like, I totally love Katie. She's awesome. Like, they
yeah,
were
they were
both
very,
like insta love. Like, what?
yeah. But in the DVD extras, they talked about how the real Calamity Jane was obsessed with Wild Bill Hickok, but he may or
Mm-hmm.
may not have reciprocated. Like she claimed that at least her daughter was his child, but he
Yeah.
was dead by then, so he couldn't refute it. And then
So
like
it's
she
like that
wanted,
timing seems interesting, right? You wait till he's gone and then
yeah,
try to say that you were totally married and had this kid or whatever.
yep, she wanted to be buried next to him. Well, she died like quite at least more than 10, maybe 20 years later, and that had not been his request. But apparently, like some friends that kind of like were teasing him or something, like they fulfilled her request. So I think they're buried
Oh,
together.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. I did know about the kid thing, but oh, that's funny. So he's
But
like
still, that's
rolling in his
totally
grave
different
about
from,
it.
yeah, from this version of her. It's like that was her happy true love, and they loved each other. Not like he couldn't stand her. Apparently, like he thought like she was too clingy, and she was like the rough tomboy, wanted to be one of the guys, but she was just like pick me to Bill Hickok, I guess.
Came on a little stronger in real life than in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I was just gonna say, how much of it did they base on real life? They're just like, we want some name that someone knows. It's like Annie got your gun. It's a Doris Day as a sharpshooter, and here's another name that's real that you know, and everything else is made up.
Yeah, I think so. They took a little piece of it and then expanded it into a whole movie as an answer to Annie, get your gun.
Yep.
I should probably watch the other one. As I said, I don't know. Her voice is so, Betty Hutton's voice is so annoying.
Yeah, no, I don't even know who you're talking about. I don't know if I can picture her, but
I don't know. She's this blonde. I don't really know anything else she was in. I would watch it for Howard Keel, I suppose, but I like him, so.
you said you liked him a lot. You should watch for him. Like, oh wait, so is that why they pulled him from that movie into this movie?
Yeah, they borrowed him, I think, from another studio, so he could do this one too.
I will say Jim is also faster paced than I remembered. I mean, I don't know, was it 90 minutes, but they got a lot to get through, and they just rushed through everything.
Yeah,
But
there was a lot going on.
Yeah, the musicals can kind of help with that, with the what they call like montages, especially like when they clean the dirty cabin and they make
Oh
it more,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like, wow, they did that fast, and like something with the roof, I think, is
Yep.
all better too. And
they're dressing very fancy, even though they're getting very dirty doing this.
I know she goes and slips in the creek or something,
Yeah,
and
so then
it's
they
all
didn't see how
muddy.
gorgeous she was. Yeah, so they could do the reveal on the ballroom. They didn't even like when they picked her up. They didn't notice because she had a shawl on. So apparently you can't tell how gorgeous she is until she takes the shawl off.
You can see her face. Like,
Yeah.
The men are just oblivious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently for the mud thing, they put her in like a trough or something, and she like
Oh yeah,
rolled
what was
around in
that?
that
Was it
for the
real mud?
scene.
Was it look like chocolate sauce or something?
I don't know. It kind of does look like chocolate sauce. I wonder if that's what it was. That's funny. Or if it was actual mud, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
I don't know.
definitely the musical numbers.
Yeah,
The plot's okay. It's better than some other films.
yeah. Well, in my head, my little kid head, I was like, "This was amazing," and then I saw it. I was
Oh,
like, "Oh
right.
yeah."
Oh, the nostalgia factor with
Yeah.
stuff you see as a kid is definitely
Yeah.
strong. And then you watch it again and you're like, But as I said, I didn't see this one till I was older. But the
Mhm.
highlight is the musical numbers.
Yep, I still remember
So
the song.
Windy City and the duet she does with
Yeah.
Bill.
This, yeah, is that Secret Love or there's a different one? No,
I
there's a
Can
different
Do Without You, where they're
Yeah.
like throwing each other
Oh
around
yeah,
and stuff.
their little like enemies to lovers moment.
That I find super amusing. Secret Love is good, but it seems so different from the rest of the numbers in the movie.
Yeah. And like I said, not
But
quite
she got her
huge
ballad.
movie anyway. But
Well, that won the Academy Award too for Best Song that year.
yeah.
So that's good for everybody.
I was trying to think, like, I do remember because I watched other Doris Day movies growing up, and I didn't rewatch them before now because I was like, I don't have time to rewatch all this stuff. But I remember, like, even as a kid, not liking, like you said, like in Pillow Talk, and was Send Me No Flowers.
Send Me No Flowers.
Like, the aggression, like,
Yeah.
even though Rock Hudson is doing, I don't know, he was not necessarily cheating on her because, like, in Pillow Talk, they weren't dating yet, but he was a playboy she didn't like, and they shared a phone line so she could hear him being a playboy all the time. I don't know. She just like he's just the innocent guy who's doing maybe not great things, but he comes out so perfect, and she comes out so chill.
Right.
And,
I know, it's so weird.
Attractive to him for some reason in the story.
Well, and I haven't seen like her super early stuff because there are other musicals in there too. I've seen Young at Heart, which is a weird movie. That's Frank Sinatra, and it's just I don't know. I love Frank Sinatra, but in this movie he's like so depressed and stuff, and it's really weird to watch him like that for me. I don't know. It's just kind of a downer movie. And I don't love musicals that are sad. So
my mom watched a fair amount with Sinatra. She wasn't obsessed with him, but I remember him in Guys and Dolls, I think, right? He was in that. Or
yeah.
Okay.
He's in Guys and Dolls with Marlon Brando is the
I
other guy.
remember because he's like I don't know, I couldn't quite sing.
Marlon Brando, yeah. And then Frank Sinatra made that his song later on. He was irritated he didn't get to play that part. Some issues there. Now we're segueing. That's okay. That tends to happen with this a bit too. Yeah. It's just start talking about other things because it all branches out into each other. So
yeah. Well, but like speaking of Doris Day, then if we get back to that, like all I remember is in real life she liked animals. She had a son, but I don't remember who she married. But she wasn't married for long. She spent most of her life not married, at least after retiring. And then I found out she was 3 years older than she claimed she was. Either like her mom did it or she did it so she could get more parts early on in Hollywood.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because usually they put years on at that time instead of taking them off.
Because like I want my little 13-year-old to do this or something. Like no, they're like she's too old at 20 or something. No, I don't know what age it was. I think it might have even been.
Well, and actually, she was a dancer first. So she was training for that. And the night before she was supposed to go to Hollywood, she was in a car accident or / train accident. They were in a car and got hit by a train. So she broke her leg and then ended up being in a wheelchair for a super long time and had to work her way back from that.
Yeah, I didn't even know about this. Wow.
Yeah. Like I didn't know either. I was researching. And then she started singing when she couldn't do the dancing as much and realized that she could sing. So then they kind of switched things and then she did singing lessons instead.
So how old was she? Under 10 even? Like
no, how old was she when she broke her leg? That's a good question. I want to say it was like of course I didn't write that down in my notes. Teenager? I don't remember. I want to say it was like 16 or 17.
Okay, man.
And then she ended up being in a wheelchair for a long time.
Yes.
But then she still danced in Calamity Jane, so apparently she healed enough, but maybe not the level of dancing she wanted to do, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you know who her husband is? Some behind the scenes guy?
I can look it up.
Sorry.
I don't remember.
I just remember she had a son, right? And then like when she's older, there's some kind of problem with her grandson, and I don't know.
Was there drama? There's always drama.
About like inheritance and.
So I'm not finding what I am looking for. Her name was Kappelhoff.
Yeah, what's your real name?
Doris Marianne Kappelhoff.
You at least got to keep her first name. They didn't always allow that.
Well, she was married 4 times.
4 times, and I'm just like, oh, she's married once. No, I just remember she was definitely single toward the end, and she was a good ally of Hudson. But
it was the first guy that she had the kid with. Divorced. One of them died and then divorced.
Sounds typical for back then.
Right? Usually it was a lot, yeah. Who died? Martin Melcher. 52. Dang, that's not old at all. Man, there are so many people that just died young. You look them up and you're like, that's not old. Heart attack. All right.
Yeah. I think she made it a while, right? 90.
Oh, she was old. 90 something, I think. Let's see.
I feel like it wasn't even that long
97.
Ago. Jeez. Was that the real age?
2019.
Yeah. Wow.
The real age. I don't know. It said was born 1922. I don't know. IMDb is usually relatively accurate, so that's probably accurate.
I was gonna say what's the other one that I barely remember, but you brought it up. When she sings "Carrie Sarah Sarah," is that the Hitchcock one?
That's The Man Who Knew Too Much. Yep, it's her and Jimmy Stewart, and their son gets kidnapped.
I remember this. I remember the song. Why is it like she had such a beautiful voice? Like I can picture all the singing more than anything.
Right. I want to say that song won something too. I can't remember now. Probably. That's a good movie. I liked that one. I liked that more than the other 60s stuff. Was that 60s too? It might have been. Type fast enough. 1956. Okay, not 60s yet. So pre-Rock Hudson stuff. I mean, it's nice that she sang in there too, because usually Hitchcock is not about the music.
And then she had a good friendship with Rock Hudson off screen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Was she ever like his beard or just good friends, or did they pretend they were dating at any point?
People might have assumed.
Oh, yeah.
She said at some point way later that she had no idea that he was gay. So whether that's accurate or not, though, you know, that's just something they kept quiet a lot of the time.
Man, I thought she was in on it and protecting him, though. But
she might have been.
Yeah.
I don't know if her saying that was a true thing or not, or if she was just brushing it off, maybe.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch, though. I liked him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Have I ever seen him anything without her in it? Probably, but I barely remember.
I don't think I have. I forget what their third one is. Because we said Pillow Talk, Send Me No Flowers. I don't remember what the other one is. There's a third one. And then she did some movie with Clark Gable when he was super duper old, too. I've seen that Touch of Mink. That's her and Cary Grant. So I just look at the list. Love Her Come Back. That's the other one. With Rock Hudson.
Okay.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Familiar,
oh, that's the one where they're... Okay. Misunderstanding leaves an advertising executive with a campaign for a product that has not been invented. Their whole thing with those is all the misunderstandings of everything.
Like I said, that's common in romance novels, though. Like, whether... It just drives me crazy, but like whether you like it or not, there's often a miscommunication. And when the authors come up with some other like third act climax, like, it's so much nicer than just like, you misheard something and you won't ask about it. But...
Oh yeah, the third act breakup where it's just something stupid and then they don't talk to each other.
Yep.
Actually, I think I've done that, but...
I read it a lot when I'm editing. So... Oh, and then we almost forgot. I didn't watch her show, but Doris Day had a variety show, I guess you would call it, right? In the 70s before she died.
A lot of them had shows, too. Some of them only lasted like a couple years.
Right.
I look it up and I'm amazed by how many people just had their own show for a little bit.
And I think that's pretty much the last of what she was doing. I don't remember if she ever like came back in the 90s or something, like, and had like a brief stint in something.
Her last thing in here is the Doris Day show, 1968 to 1973.
Yeah, so like she was retired long before I was born, but just my mom loved her so much, so she'd show me the movies. She also, like, my mom was like, was type, even until she died, like she had to watch what was airing on cable live. Like we had DVDs, but she didn't really like on demand content. So whatever TCM was showing that day, which
Oh
was often
yeah.
USA, she'd be watching it. I could hear it from the other room even, but and the songs I could hear.
Right. Just leave it on in the background.
Yeah, oh, yeah, because she would read a book and have a movie on. I'm like, what are you doing? I can't split my focus like that. But apparently she could. Some people can, because I know people like go on their phones while they're watching TV, but I can't do that. I can't split my focus.
You're not paying attention to whatever you're supposed to be watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I guess her excuse is she's seen all the movies so long, so many times. But then I
It's
remember
just
when
background.
when we were a kid, of course, like there wasn't, it wasn't easy to have VHS movies like when I was really little. And then, so yeah, you did watch whatever cable had on. A lot of Doris Day.
Yeah. See, and growing up, I didn't have cable.
Oh
We
yes,
had VHS, and we had, like, my mom, I'm sure it was my mom, taped so much off of TV.
oh yeah.
So,
And so many of those VHS were just pencil written on them. It was a movie too.
yep. So, how I got into classic movies was there was one time where I was homesick, and my dad borrowed VHS movies from one of his coworkers. So, he brought home Singing in the Rain. So, that was my first introduction into that, and then it just spiderwebbed because then I watched more movies with Gene Kelly, and then he did movies with Frank Sinatra, and then Gene Kelly also did movies with Judy Garland, and they all spiderwebbed into each other. So it kind of just grew from there. But the ones taped off of TV that I got super nostalgic about were Splash. My mom had taped that, so it was like the edited for TV version.
What, the 80s movie? Or
Yeah, it's 1984. It's a mermaid movie with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah. And then she had also taped this Alice in Wonderland from 1985. It was made for TV, so I got really into that. That actually has a lot of classic movie stars in it. Like Sammy Davis Jr. is in it, and he sings and dances. Donald O'Connor, who's also in Singing in the Rain, is in it. Sid Caesar, like there's a whole bunch of Carol Channing's in it. Like there's a whole bunch of people in it. So I realized that like later on.
Yeah,
so that was kind of funny. Yeah, I'm nostalgic about that one. It has the most terrifying and coolest Jabberwocky costume in it, since they actually had to make stuff then. So
yeah, was it made for TV or?
Mm-hmm. It was like a mini series. It was a 2-night thing because they did Alice in Wonderland and then they did Through the Looking Glass too. Patrick Duffy's in it. He's pretty young in there. John Stamos is in it, pre Full House.
Wow.
So that's kind of funny. Again, segue.
Scary, right? Fantasy, a lot of fantasy movies I love from the 80s, but they're all scary too, if you think of. So this Alice in Wonderland sounds like it fits it right in.
Right. Through the Looking Glass is a little bit more intense, but yeah. It was funny because when I showed it to my kids, my daughter was fine. And then my son, it freaks him out. So
Yeah.
Just depends on the kid. It freaked me out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I was like, I love this.
My sister always gets teased because she's afraid of E.T. Like,
I can see that.
But she's a little older than me, so she was watching it like when it was a brand new movie, and I watch it later.
Well, it has sad parts in it too. My kids don't love the sad pieces of movies.
Yeah. Which I think she said something about like him hiding among the stuffed animals, especially scared her because she had stuffed animals and that he was going to be hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be spooky.
I was going to say, because my mom got me into these type of movies, when I was writing a vampire series of vampire mermaids, like you said, Splash, and fairies, I decided like instead of making them, I don't know, what are vampires usually, like Victorian era or earlier, even like hundreds and hundreds.
Oh yeah, they're usually like super old.
Yeah, I decided I would make them 1940s vampires just because I like the aesthetic, I like the film noir things. So that I was going to show my cover designer. This one doesn't show you anything because it's just supposed to be modern. Well, it's 2017.
That's the one I read.
Oh, really? Thank you. They went to prom and stuff, so that's their modern dresses, kind of. It kind of looks like them. And then they're mermaids, so they got mermaids. And then here's when they're supposed to be like 1940s fashion, because this is the vampire focus book, so they all dress like they're in the 1940s because they got turned in the 1940s. They're still too old for modern teenagers, but And then in this one, they kind of swap sides. So the one who had been when the vampires was with the mermaids, the one who was with the mermaids is with the vampires, so that's why she's wearing 1940s, and she's wearing like a 1940s top on with it, because they kind of like morph together. But then I will say this one is about fairies, and they drop all the 1940s stuff at that point, because I don't want to give away spoilers. So that's my connection to classic movies. I'm not as versed in all these movies as you seem to be. Like, you keep coming up with all these like interesting gossip stories.
It's kind of the point. So the reason for the podcast, I'm like, there's so much craziness, because a lot of, unless you're looking at pre-code, but if it's under production code, they had to be very careful about what they did. And there's still some innuendo language that you can pick up on. They're just sneakier about it. But there was so much that they couldn't do. But then their lives, to reference the title of my podcast, were bananas, because everybody's sleeping with everybody, and like there's just so much going on. People are so nostalgic for it, and I'm like, yeah, but do you know what else they were doing?
Yeah. My mom always like had starry-eyed views of all these people. Like, but did you know that he did this and he did that? It's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't believe it.
That's part of the fun, though. Yeah. I find it interesting.
Yeah.
To look up all this stuff. And so I've been doing a lot of Carole Lombard research. And actually, the first episode on here, I talked about this guy named Russ Columbo, who nobody knows who he is, because he had a freak accident and got shot in the face and died when he was 26. Mm-hmm. But at the time, he was dating Carole Lombard. This was in between. She was married to William Powell, and they got divorced. She was married to Clark Gable, and she died. So in between those two guys was this other guy that was apparently going to rival the popularity of Bing Crosby. So he was like up and coming kind of thing. He was supposed to be in Showboat. They were doing a Showboat, but he was like going to be in that, and that was going to be his whole thing. And then he died instead. Like, and
I learned about him from you. So,
right.
If I had gone to her wiki. But by the way, she died in her 30s. Is like, how much of a life did she have? She did so much till she died in her 30s, and I'm just like,
oh yeah, Carole Lombard was 33. Yep. Yeah. It's just crazy to think about, because there are so many people, and I'm like, I'm older than a lot of these people, so that's really weird.
Such a variety of life experiences. Like,
right. Well, and then just with doing research and then looking up other people, and I'm like, this dude died in his 40s. This dude died like heart attacks and like just weird freak accident stuff. And I'm like, what? It's crazy. Even Elvis, who I thought was older, was only 42. And I'm like, now I'm in my 40s, and that's not that old.
Yep. My mom said she was pregnant with my sister, and she cried thinking that like she'd never live in a world with Elvis alive. Oh. So she liked him at the time.
He can be controversial sometimes too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, whoa. But like you said, like, I think, did you bring it up, like the whole Priscilla thing? Like, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
that.
Margaret, you said, I remember that.
Like, she was so young, and they weren't technically dating until she was legal, but then people now call it grooming, but her parents still approved of it.
Groomed her, I think, for her to like go get it.
And he was, for some context with that too, like his mom had just died, and he was in the army. Like, he was not probably in the most ideal headspace when he met her. I don't know. But Fang Me Tender book that is inspired by Elvis, I'm very careful with my wording sometimes, is essentially, so that whole series is supposed to be like, oh, if I could give them their happy ending instead of the tragedy, because there's just so much tragedy with all these people. So I explored what it would have been like had he instead ended up with somebody like Anne Margaret, who he actually dated when they did Viva Las Vegas, which is probably his most famous movie. So he was dating her for like a year, but she was a way stronger personality, I think. So I don't know if that was an issue with them. They were very similar. So, but I'm like, what could have happened? Like, would she have helped him? Would she, like, if they had stayed together, like, I wonder if it would have been better for him.
Yeah.
Or if he would have pulled her down. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But
well, no, you get to explore those questions with supernatural additions.
Yes.
So, like, is your vampire still a famous singer, or is he just a person like Elvis?
So he's essentially I took inspiration from Viva Las Vegas, so I renamed the movie, but took inspiration from the numbers, renamed all the songs. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. So I adjusted everything. I basically created an alternate classic movie world and renamed everybody.
Cool.
So I'm not using any of the same names, any of the same titles, any of that jazz. But it's still inspired by that film. And then you have like the fated mates thing going on and all of that jazz too, and they're spicy.
So do the people
So
in your world, like, they know about vampires, or is he hiding it?
so with this one, there's actually some rebellion going on. So the studio knows what he is, but not all humans know that there are supernaturals. So
Okay.
like they're trying to control him, so that does not go well. um so then you have a rebellion element, and I'm going to run that through the series. I'm actually backtracking because they decided to blame them being outed essentially on the Carol Lombard inspired character. So the Elvis one is now like a flash forward, and then I got this other idea, so now I'm going to go back and then tell how they got there, kind of thing. So Carol Lombard's a fallen angel.
Okay. Yeah.
She's died in a plane crash, right? So um and then one night Russ Columbo was bothering me, like, so now he's getting his own story. Sounds so weird to talk like that, but I feel like writers get it. Like the character gets in your head. So I'm like, it's like his ghost was bugging me, and like, why don't I get my own happy ending? Da da da.
Yep.
Fine.
You said you totally changed how you were going to view this character from being like an antagonist to a hero.
Yeah, because I was gonna have him be the bad guy, because in real life he was a little bit, he came on kind of strong. Like he loved Carol Lombard more than she loved him, I think. But the context there is Carol Lombard was hanging out with her ex-husband all the time, like a whole bunch. They were best friends after they got divorced. So I think it made Russ Columbo a little bit insecure because he had her followed. So that is a little bit intense, right? He had also had somebody leave him and up and marry somebody else. He had other contributing factors for him to be paranoid, I think. So then I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, well, he's not really the evil one, you know. He's not really the bad guy. So I'm like, I picked somebody else to be the bad guy in the paranormal thing. Different name, but
Okay. Okay. Yeah. A lot of drama. He's only in his 20s. So much happened in his life. But then we all forgot about him. I forgot about him. I don't remember it. Like, I know the name Carol Lombard, but I didn't know. I forgot this name already. Russ Columbo, right?
Yeah.
See,
I didn't know who he was before I started researching. Because they talk about her two marriages. Mostly Clark Gable is the one that is focused on, but she was married to William Powell too. And then William Powell was dating Jean Harlow when she died.
Yeah.
Like apparently they were going to get married too. So then that didn't happen.
Ugh, so much drama.
I know. So much. All right. Well, I think we can wrap up. So thank you very much for talking to me. I appreciate it. We got to hear some thoughts on Calamity Jane and then etc. Which that seems to just happen with these, though, I've noticed. Right. Whatever segues, just talk through it. All right. Well, thank you very much. And we will sign off.
Thank you for having
All right.
me.
Bye.
Bye.